felt like Mother Nature was a racing fan on this final Friday of racing at beautiful Belmont Park. Take a look, blue skies, a few clouds off in the background, a fast main track, and both turf courses listed as firm as we are underway. Pick 6 Central and a good deal of finality hanging in the air today at Belmont Park. Jason Blewett, Richard Migliori on this edition on MSG Plus, and we've got 29 races as we start the show, my friend. That's it.
Pretty remarkable. It seems a very long time ago we were having the first show on a Friday here starting the meet, and certainly a lot of things have happened between now and then, including a Triple Crown winner.
Which is pretty remarkable. Now, we have not seen or did not see a Triple Crown win for nearly 40 years. Having a very close jockeys race during this meet alone has been pretty much appropriate and the norm. And entering today's card, as Javier Castellano and Irad Ortiz were locked heads or locked horns at 52 wins apiece, we had Irad coming back off a 3-day suspension. He had 5 calls. Javier had 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it a suspension. I'd call it more like a freshening, getting ready for Saratoga. But we've got a race, and we got 2 great riders slugging it out. So it's going to be fun going down to the wire. Now, we've seen Irad come with these flying finishes at most of these meets, and sometimes winning them, sometimes falling just short to Javier. Well, this time he took the lead. Now he got basically headed. Let's see if he can battle back.
Right, they dead heated at this meet a year ago.
Yep.
Javier won this meet alone back in 2013. So there is a little drama heating up between 2 talented riders who are looking forward to getting upstate to Saratoga Racecourse. And that might be the case with the old pro, the 2-time horse of the year, the 8-year-old gelding, Wise Dan. We love Wise Dan, and this might have been the best news on the afternoon. Wise Dan stretching his legs for Charles Lepresti over at Keeneland.
His first breeze back, 48 and a 5th out in 101 and change, and they said he did it about as easy as a horse can do, and that's always been the benchmark of when Wise Dan is healthy. He works faster than it looks, faster than they want, but he does it so easily, and the exercise rider even was quoted as saying, "I can't believe he went that fast," because he felt like he was galloping.
Bernard Baruch, 4-Star Dave, they seem like the 2 most logical spots for this horse to run if he does indeed run over the summertime. And it does sound like Charles Lepresti is intent on bringing him back to Saratoga Racecourse, of course, a venue in which Wise Dan has had so much success and has been such a great star.
Charlie Lepresti's such a good horseman. He's not going to run this horse unless he's a 100%. I think the 4-Star Dave might come up a little quick. He's only had that first breeze, albeit a good one. I think maybe later in the meet, Bernard Baruch, hopefully there and not up to Canada for the Auto Mile.
Right, the Bernard Baruch, September 7th. I had to do a double take. We are going to be in upstate New York for quite a while. Labor Day falls as late as it possibly could. September 7th, that'll be closing day upstate at the Spa.
I like when we go into September there. The nights are cooler, the mornings are cooler. You start to see splashes of colors in the Adirondacks. But as fast as this meet went, will be the last day of Saratoga, and wow, that went by fast.
Well, let's hope it goes slow. And the hopeful has been a Labor Day tradition over the last few years. In fact, for as long as I can remember, and the 2-year-old's such a big part of the fabric at Saratoga Racecourse. Any given day, you may see a future superstar, and that's been the case in many editions of the hopeful. We've got 3, Mig, we're going to take a look at stretch runs on this show, beginning with the 86 edition with Gulch for Leroy Jolly.
Gulch, a really good horse, probably underrated in my estimation in some respects. He won back-to-back Met Miles. Only serious racehorses can do that, but here he was, very professional, and Angel Cordero, fun to watch him finish on a horse. We haven't seen that in a long time, but if you've ever seen it once, you'll never forget it.
A future sprint champion, a successful sire, and how about the ominous skies? As dark as could be, and a dead heat, the photo finish camera could not separate Yona Guska and City Zip back in 2000.
I actually was in the gate this race. I rode this race, and watching the lightning and those heavy clouds coming in off the lake, it was actually very scary. But City Zip gets up to dead heat with Yana Guska. It looks like he never can get there, and somehow he willed himself under Jose Santos to catch Yana Guska and Jerry Bailey, I believe. And City Zip basically swept with that dead heat all the 2-year-old stakes at Saratoga that summer.
You just don't see horses make that move anymore. He followed in suit De Hare about 7 years earlier, and here we have a future Preakness and Belmont winner in a Fleet Alex who came up to Saratoga in the summer of '04, all the rage from the Mid-Atlantic.
And so talented, kind of wandering all over the track from the whip of Jeremy Rose, and probably didn't really appreciate it. Super talented, and I think this was his coming out party because he never looked comfortable, never looked like he could win, and that's what truly good good horses do. They find a way to win when the deck is stacked against them.
Bit of an extension of his Preakness the following May when he fell down at the top of the stretch when Scrappy T bumped him and came out right into the path of the Fleet Alex. He picked himself up and still won that race going away.
And literally fell down. I mean, he was on his nose, somehow got back up, and I'm sure you'll remember, but who rode Scrappy T that day?
Ramon Dominguez.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Too easy.
And
Too
who
easy.
trained Scrappy T?
Oh, that's even better. You got me.
Robert Bales.
I would have never come up with that.
I want to pull out the sire, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll keep that to myself. We've got opening day just a week out. 3 cards remain, including today's at Belmont Park, and we'll kick off the first of 40 days in paradise at historic Saratoga Racecourse next Friday on July 24th. We're not in a hurry. We love Saratoga. Can't wait to get upstate, but when you have a track as gorgeous at Belmont Park, let's hope this final weekend goes nice and slow. Horses will be going a lot faster, though, when we get it to race number 8. This was the Friday feature. 3-year-old fillies on the inner turf in this non-winners of 1 allowance.
On the outside, these two out for the lead together with Southern Gem. Now moving up into second as Al Jalila is taken back to third of the inside. Then it's Garden Princess, followed by Viva Malala. And to the outside comes Fila Primera. Break of another 4, and the 2 trailers are clutching at straws in Stella Street. So the field racing on to the backstretch now, and the leader is Easy Feeling. On top 3/4 of a length, Garden Princess second. 23-1 was the opening quarter mile. A very fast pace here. Al Jalila is third to the inside on the outside, Viva Malala. Right behind them, Southern Gem and Fila Primera. And then it's clutching at straws. And Stella Street is last with 8 lengths to make up. And Easy Feeling up top. Easy Feeling's lead is now clear. It's a 1.5 advantage over Garden Princess on a 47.5 mile. Viva Malala third to the outside. Al Jalila fourth along the rail. Behind them, Southern Gem and Fila Primera. Clutching at straws is 6 lengths behind and racing on the inside of Stella Street. Around the far turn, Easy Feeling by 2. Garden Princess second as they come toward the top of the stretch. And closing through on the inside is Al Jalila now, and she's into second as they turn for home. Easy Feeling in front. Al Jalila 2 lengths behind as they come into the final furlong. To the outside of them, Southern Gem is trying to close in as well. Then Stella Street, who's up into 4th. Here comes Al Jalila to the outside of Easy Feeling. Al Jalila takes the lead. Easy Feeling back into second. Southern Gem closing late. Stella Street on the outside. And Fila Primera, it's Al Jalila. And then it was Southern Gem, followed by Easy Feeling and Stella Street.
Pretty tough spot on paper off the layoff, but like many Todd Pletcher-trained fillies and horses this meet, she was ready to go. First start since Labor Day weekend for Al Jalila, a winning one.
How about the meet that Todd Pletcher's having? It's just incredible. He's winning it better than 33%. He's on the cusp of maybe reclaiming the wins record here at the Belmont Spring Meet, and this filly looked really good. Like she has the opportunity maybe to even go on and do bigger and better things.
Lake George for the 3-year-old fillies on the turf will be next Friday, opening day at the Spa. The Lake Placid, though, seems like a spot that probably will have Al Jalila in it. Unbeaten 2 for 2, $450,000 purchase by Unbridled Song for Al Shakab Racing, and Javier Castellano would get his second victory on the afternoon. She was pretty good, disposing of a good group. We'll see what else happened on day number 57, turf, dirt, and of course that big pick 6 carryover. Things have settled down. The flowers, however, are in full bloom. No horses, no people. 10 races, however, on tap for tomorrow afternoon, including a $300,000 late pick 4 and a 10% winner's bonus if you throw in that winning ticket at the new NYRA.com wagering interface or the new NYRA.com mobile site. I was fortunate enough to be on vacation last week down in Florida and played around with the new NYRA.com wagering interface. Easy to use, intuitive, and I suggest everybody check it out and go for that 10% winner's bonus tomorrow.
You're down in Florida, beautiful sunshine, visiting your parents.
Right.
You got the sand, the sun, the surf. and you're looking at this stuff.
I can't get away.
I thought it was just Andy Serling. I'm worried about you.
Sitting by the pool, my dad's on his iPad watching his Naira account. I'm next to him with mine watching my Naira account, and what?
You know what they say, the family that bets together stays together.
Indeed. It happened here in the summer of '93, and I never left, and he's still watching the races retired down in Florida. Race number 4, let's do it. We'll kick off the pick 6. Widener turf. Sprinklers weren't on, actually, when they broke from the gate. That ever happened to you, Mig? You ever run in a race where the sprinklers were on?
Yeah, actually, sprinklers, ran through geese, bunch of things, yeah.
The life of a jockey. All right. Larry Colemas with the call. Maiden claimers, high-price maiden claimers, $75K the claiming tags. And here's Larry down the backside.
Can goes straight out to the front. Tis a Cinch is away running in second position. It's a Given is right there in between horses. Tis Time to Shake is close up as well. Unpretentious in that group too. And down on the inside is Here Sir. Moss Codes on the far outside. At the back are Extensible and Brevard. So now the field racing on to the backstretch. And there goes Unpretentious to take the lead. Unpretentious is the front runner. Ran a 23 and 1 opening quarter mile. It's a Given is second to the inside by 4. The Catman Can is back running in third. And then it's Moss Code. Tis a Cinch between horses. Tis Time to Shake on the inside. Right behind them, Here Sir is 7 lengths off the lead and clear of Brevard. Extensible, the favorite, is last of them all. After a half mile of 46 seconds flat. So the pace is honest enough here as the field races for the turn. And it's Unpretentious on the outside, and down at the rail it's a Given. These two continue to vie for the lead, and here comes the Catman Can, who is moving up alongside of them with a 3-wide run. And then it's Moss Code Extreme outside. Tis a Cinch. Tis Time to Shake. And Here Sir is getting going now. Going up on the far outside. And right behind Here Sir, Extensible is also gaining ground. But plenty of work to do. And they're into the stretch, and the Catman Can. The Catman Can has taken charge here and has opened up a 4-length lead. It's a Given is second, and then comes Moss Code, and to the outside comes Here Sir, followed by Extensible. But as they come to the wire, the Catman Can, and he did. And then it's a Given, followed by Moss Code, and a photo between Brevard and Tis Time to Shake.
Very sharp effort. Little drama here in deep stretch, Mig, from the Catman Can, who won this race pretty convincingly.
Yeah, it was over basically by the time they turned for home. Good to see Dave Duggan with a winner, a guy who does a nice job. And Jose Ortiz put together a fine meet of his own, even though he's not fighting for leading rider. He's certainly going to be one of the leaders in Saratoga.
Basically, Co's second choice, and I agree with young Jose Ortiz, but Co's second choice for the Catman Can in the opening leg of the pick 6, all by himself. We'll see if the finish is a bit closer in this upcoming 5th race as we bounce over to the inner turf, 3/4 the distance. It's a New York bred allowance event for 3 and up fillies and mares.
Sweet Polly Purebred comes out running on the lead. Given Fire, Hard Scent on the outside, and between those two, it is Spuntastic who's away running in third. These 3 across the track, then Done Listening in 4th as they continue up the backstretch. Graham Crackers is running in 5th position. And then tight quarters there for Barrier to Entry, who's got no place to go and gets shuffled all the way back into last as they go for the turn. Cat, Joshin's Giant are right there as well as Fantastic Eyes by a 22 flat opening quarter mile. And it is Given Fire in front. Given Fire the leader, a length and a half to Spuntastic in second. And then Done Listening third on the outside by a length. Cat follows in 4th and is circling up on the far outside. And then it's Sweet Polly Purebred, followed by Graham Crackers, who's under a drive 6 lengths off the lead as they turn for home. Given Fire in front. Up the rails, Spuntastic comes charging on through. Sweet Polly Purebred. Cat on the far outside. And right behind them is Graham Crackers. It is Sweet Polly Purebred. Sweet Polly Purebred has taken the lead. On the outside, Cat is second as they come down to the line. Sweet Polly Purebred over Cat, then Graham Crackers and Given Fire.
Jose Ortiz, perfect ride in race 4, and this was a thing of beauty with Irad Mig, sitting the pocket, angling 3 wide with Sweet Polly Purebred.
Yeah, I think that couple of days off freshened Irad up and just clued him in for Saratoga, and he's showing Javier, I'm not going away quietly. You're going to have to work to beat me.
Filly by Parading. She is owned by Michael Imperio, trained by Rudy Rodriguez, and she got the money over Cedar Cat, who showed up with an okay effort in her first start against Winners.
Yeah, another nice effort from her, going from maiden claimers to allowance against Winners, and she put in another late run. You got to think she's got a win on her resume in Saratoga possibly coming up.
Absolutely. Favorites are 0 for 2 thus far in the pick six. No big surprises yet. Were there any surprises today? Let's find out from the opener at 120 through the nightcap with the sun still out at around 5:30. Here's what else went down on day number 57.
Now is going to come 3 wide. Farther out, it's Graceful Gal. Extreme outside, Dreaming as Always, and they're into the stretch. Lucky Nancy E. Here's Graceful Gal, Dreaming as Always on the outside. Take It Inside is fourth. Into the final furlong, and it is Javier Castellano and Dreaming as Always taking the lead. Dreaming as Always pulling away in the late strides to win here. The race is for second. Ahead, Bob under the wire. Between Lucky Nancy E. and Graceful Gal, Take It Inside was fourth. And it is the Stone Ranger and Gato Azul turning for home together after a 47 2/2 mile. And now Gato Azul has taken the lead. Gaining ground on the inside, Norm the Giant's putting in a bid. Cat's Landing is next on the outside. Gato Azul in front. Norm the Giant second on the rail, but Gato Azul is getting away. Gato Azul and Angel Arroyo pulling clear as they come down to the line. They're going to win it by 3 over Norm the Giant. And then came Cat's Landing and Suspicious Mind. Prize Taker still in contention in fourth. The other two have work to do as they come toward the top of the stretch. And it's On a Snowy Evening turning for home inside of Annie Walker. On a Snowy Evening clings to the lead, but has been under a ride for a while now. Annie Walker on the outside. Dead Even Literata comes to her on the outside. And then it's Prize Taker in fourth. She switches to the far outside as Literata makes her run for the lead, and Prize Taker will try to come and get her. Literata, Prize Taker. These two down to the wire. Literata, Prize Taker. Literata, Prize Taker, it is! Oh, that's tight. Maybe Literata. Prize Taker right alongside of her at the finish. Annie Walker was third, within 2 lengths of the lead. Then Frisky Magician and Elusive Talmo on the outside, and Man of Fire turns for home in front. Man of Fire and Angel Cruz at the top of the stretch. On the outside, Wicked Freud trying to make a race of it with a furlong to go. Frisky Magician is third on the inside. It is still Man of Fire. Man of Fire holding off Wicked Freud, and on the inside, Frisky Magician. Man of Fire has it won. Gonna score by 2.5 over Wicked Freud, and then it was Frisky Magician and Elusive Talmo. Cable, who turns for home on the lead, runs a half in 46 seconds flat, and Cable set sail for home with a 2-length advantage here. And then it's Mrs. Sunday, and toward the inside comes OKC as they come into the final furlong. Farther out, Regina Christina and Saluda are gaining ground, and here comes Regina Christina after Cable. Down to these two, Regina Christina's getting to Cable. Regina Christina runs down Cable to win it. And then it was Saluda, followed by Skipperty. Sounds Elusive ran a 45 flat half mile and turns for home in front. It is Sounds Elusive, joined now by Ross J-Dog, who goes on by. And Ross J-Dog is now the leader, opening up the lead by 2.5 lengths here. And then it's Mill Creek on the outside in second, and the others have been left behind. Ross J-Dog and Angel Arroyo are going to win it here at 16-1. Mill Creek was second, and then came Promise and Hope and I Believe I Can.
Ross J-Dog, one of 5 not covered in today's nightcap. 208,000, just under 209K. Saturday's triple pick 6 carryover. The plot thinkins, my friend, on the penultimate day of racing.
I'd like to see it carry over to Sunday where it has to be paid out. So you know that guaranteed someone's going to hit it Sunday, and a quadruple carryover, it'll be a really nice prize pool.
Pretty amazing, and it wasn't easy to hit. We had Cable, who was a big upset, and I've got to think a single for many. She just was run down at the wire in race 7, and I think a lot of people, because I looked at Ross J-Dog in the last, because Steve Cosera's been so hot, and I said, how is a Sharp Humor firster going to win on the turf? There you go, 16-1.
Well, hot trainer. But our second look, huh? How about this move?
Angel Arroyo, second race, Gato Azul, whip flies out of his hands. Some daring do, takes the goggles off and goes right to work here on this son of Tail the Cat.
Well, I like how quickly he did it, too. He lost his whip. There was no hesitation. He reached up. He skinned the goggles off. I think this is a clear example that horses run more from the threat of being hit with something than the actual act of being hit with something. And I applaud him, and I think it's great. It's actually illegal. I mean, it's actually in the rules that a rider is not allowed to strike a horse with anything but the whip and or his hand.
Okay.
And obviously the goggles are a foreign object, but I don't usually see them call guys in for that. And you know what? I don't blame them. The fine is certainly going to be as much as what he made winning the race.
Yeah,
no
kidding.
Do what you got to do.
All right, there you go. You learn something new every day. I never knew that, anything other than a whip, riding crop, or a hand is illegal.
Well, you saw guys starting to get into skinning their cap off and using that and their goggles. So they wrote a rule that put in, but a lot of people don't know that rule exists.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people that maybe even should don't know that rule
Sure.
exists.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, fair enough. Why don't we move on to jockey standings here with another Friday card down on Long Island, and here it is, up to the minute, hot off the press. One win is all that separates Javier and Irad Ortiz.
Well, at the end of 57 rounds, the judges are scoring at 54, 53. Javier over Irad. This is going down to the wire. Should be fun.
Trainer standings, Todd Pletcher came away with the win in today's featured 8th race. He's got 43, one away from tying the all-time record this meet.
I feel very confident Todd's going to do it. He's got a couple of live horses in over the next few days, and I think any trainer, naturally, when you get close to something, you want to get it done.
And Steve Kosaris has not made that list, but he's got 4 wins from Wednesday through today's 9th race. He has come back on this closing week like gangbusters, and a trainer to look forward to upstate at the Spa. Claims on the day. In fact, Steve Kosaris, usually active on this sheet. He is not up there today, but there were a bunch of claims, a couple out of the second and a pair out of race 7.
I thought the claims in the second race were interesting. Norm the Giant finished second. He's got a pedigree. They may want to go further. Midnight Joe, what do you make of this, Jason? I mean, here's a horse, good works down at Park, sold for $150,000 as a yearling in Saratoga, shows up for $25,000, and someone thought maybe they were being cute, but this horse ran horribly.
As a 4-year-old showed up today, sold a long time ago. It's a tough game. Once they leave the auction ring, what they went for is kind of a moot point, and I guess because the horse didn't run well, Richard Vega's probably pretty happy that he went home with an empty horse fan today.
Well, there were a lot of things that made me question. I mean, a rider that I'm not familiar with, shipping in $25 with that big purchase price, but you're right about that. A horse is only worth what he's worth at that moment. It's kind of like the stock market. Just because you bought a stock high doesn't mean you're not going to sell it low.
It is a game of gambling, a game of poker, and it's the greatest game of all. The jeopardy of gambling, we like to call it, and we'll be gambling tomorrow. $208,000 plus the pick 6 carryover. A couple of stakes on the card, and the Mig and I have a Saturday preview coming up on MSG Plus. Working on that track at Belmont. We'll have it ready for Saturday training and Saturday's 10-race program. $208,000, the pick 6 carryover. It's gone on hit since last Sunday, and a nice slice of racing in upstate New York throughout the month of August and late July. The summer place to be. Nothing like an afternoon at Saratoga Racecourse beneath the trees in the backyard, and those picnic table area. Picnic table spots are available at Ticketmaster.com. Give the phone number a buzz, and we will see you upstate at the Spa as we get back. And Mig, and we've got one of our favorite horses who unfortunately is no longer with us, but nice to see Saginaw's name in the program tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see a race named in his honor. A horse like him is the heart and soul of this game, and it's nice to see horses like him honored. And I think we've got a good lineup of horses that are befitting the Saginaw legacy for sure.
Including the commentator winner, Empire Dreams, who was able to wear down everybody, including Saratoga Snacks on Memorial Day.
Yeah, Empire Dreams real good here for Tommy Albertrani in West Point. And I think he's going to get a similar setup. He's going to have pace to run at, and I think he likes Belmont Park, and I think he's going to be tough to beat.
About a little Big A interaction with the snow fences up and a little bit of snow on the turf course. A chilly February afternoon. It did not hinder or deter Saratoga Snacks who's back with Gary Siaka.
And I think he's home back with Gary Siaka. He loves, he seems to flourish in his barn, I should say. Gary Siaka's done a great job, and from what I understand, this horse is training good. He's really going sound right now, and hopefully he'll give a good account of himself.
I Love Lulu sprung the upset, set a slow pace, and maybe it's a case of this horse finding himself because he always has had some ability.
I think he's a horse with a lot of try. We see him under a strong ride by Rajiv Mirage, who unfortunately is injured right now. He's not going to get this kind of pace set up, though, and I just don't see him getting as soft a kind of trip as he did, and I think he's facing a tougher group.
Inside post in the Saginaw Stakes tomorrow afternoon. A bit later, Todd Pletcher may well indeed go over the record. He's got 43 wins. Many, including these two people, think he will get the money in Saturday's 8th with the Cobb County Son of Malibu Moon. Don't you wish we had jumped in and claimed this guy for $50,000 two back?
He's looking like a bargain for 50, and sometimes it's all a horse needs, a little confidence builder. You know, they knew Mike Tyson was going to be champion one day. They didn't put him in with real tough competition to start. They built him up physically, mentally. Horses are the same way to Cobb County. Extremely talented, and I got to think he's going to be double tough to beat.
He'll look for 3 in a row. In fact, can close out this meet a perfect 3 for 3. He'll be favored over the likes of Joking, who runs into a little bit traffic trouble. Is too strong a statement, but he's about to rally between, and it was a tight spot to thread the needle.
Yeah, just never, fully comfortable, but he did come running, and you got to like that. But Joking better not be playing around if he plans on handling to Cobb County.
Very good. Getting away from Victory is Sweet, who seems like a horse bound for Saratoga 3-year-old Sprint Stakes, and David Jacobson, Days of Fury. This horse wasn't very good with Bob Baffert. He's been pretty sharp with David Jacobson.
And we've seen this time and time again. David Jacobson's horses certainly hit a form cycle, and they hold that form cycle well. That's one of his strengths. And I'm sure that he's going to be trying to put up roadblocks so that Todd Pletcher doesn't break his record, and he's got a good chance to upset him here with Days of Fury.
And you mentioned strength. We've got some muscle standing by now. Saturday preview, carryover, and here's Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Jay and Mig. Well, for this Paddock Insider, we have some nice baby races on the card tomorrow. I should say just one for the New York bred boys. It's the Rockville Center. We're going 6 furlongs, and I know Lucky Lurie, he was pretty impressive last time out, and I really do like this horse, as well as love that Jazz for Steve Asmussen and Toby Sheets, but I'm going to opt for a first-time starter for the Bromans. It's actually an entry. I'm going to go with the John Kimmel trainee. That is Spin Cycle in here, and I saw this horse breeze in that last July 13th workout over the main track, 48 flat in hand. I actually walked up to the track with him and couldn't believe when the exercise rider told me he was a 2-year-old and he was running in this race. He looks like a 4-year-old, and that's always key with me with these kind of precocious type 2-year-olds. The more mature they look, usually the better they run. So I'm going to play with Spin Cycle in tomorrow's Rockville Center. He's your Paddock Insider today. Guys, back to you.
In good company with the Bromans. They've got a couple of stakes horses running this closing weekend at Belmont Park. We won't forget to water the lawn. Don't forget that pick 6 carryover. For the Mig and I, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.